management of firewalls, intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention system, antivirus, advanced endpoint detection and response, and so many of them. We'll also come down to learning how to design secure network architecture. Of course, most of these are on the practical applications of what we are to discuss today. So we are going to learn about these fundamentals and how these principles apply to security. Then when we now proceed to our practical section, that is where we are going to see how these things play out, where we can now play around them practically on our own. So another thing that is also focused on this, our learning, is the applying of encryption and cryptography. We know what encryption is. Sometimes some persons might misrepresent cryptography, but in a simple sense, it is nothing but the science of encryption. It involves the learning of those processes, the technologies, the management of the protocols involved in this whole process of encryption. And of course, we know that encryption is just the art of converting something from human readable format to a format that will not be understood by any person, only to those who are authorized to have access to them. We are also going to learn about how to implement robust access control. Yes, we are to deploy authentication, authorization, and accountability. When we talk about access control in cybersecurity, we are talking about making sure that only the needed level of access is granted to a subject. So a subject is any person who is authorized to have access to an object. An object can mean any digital document you can think about. So talking about access control is to limiting of access to an object, which means you are to only, let's say maybe you are working in an organization, be it in the financial sector or in the banking sector. This access control is what defines the level of access you'll be granted to assets within that organization. And those level of assets is actually what you need depending on the position you are occupying. So we'll also talk about how to maintain secure system and so on and so forth. So we make progress. Yes. Any questions so far? So security controls. We want to talk about defense in-depth strategy. What is defense in-depth strategy? Well, it is nothing but the bringing together of multiple security controls to protect a particular asset. And what do we mean by this? Well, it simply means that, let me use this simple illustration, for example. We all have our homes, we have our inner rooms. For example, our private rooms have a personal lock. If we are going out, we'll lock our personal room. We are still going to lock our burglary that guides the entire house. And even when we drive out, we still have our gate locked. So what is the very essence of us applying all these measures? We can easily relate that type of security practice to be a defense in-depth strategy. The same thing also applies in us protecting our digital assets. So defense in-depth is nothing but a security strategy that involves the application of multiple security solutions to guide a particular asset. And under this subheading, we are going to be exploring some of these measures. We have the preventive control, we have the detective, and we have, of course, the corrective, as we all can see from the slide. So preventive are the security control or the measures that make sure that threats are prevented from exploiting vulnerabilities in systems. Threats are nothing but agencies or persons or organizations that have the potential to exploit a vulnerability in a system. We also have the detective control. So these include those security tools that are built to detect anomalies when something go in an unexpected way or in an unusual way, these systems detect and report such incidents. So we categorize them under detective control. We are going to be touching them one after the other, and we are going to examine some of the very popular tools, softwares, and hardware that are involved in providing these security controls. We also have the last of it, corrective control. So these are measures or softwares used in applying in the application of patches. Let's say a particular flaw has been identified in a system. It takes a corrective control to actually fix that problem. So all these are what make up the defense index. So in a simpler format, sorry, we say that a defense in-depth is a multiple layer type of security control that ensures that if one control fails, the other will continue to provide the needed protection. So in essence, defense in-depth do not rely on a single point of security. So it means that if a particular security layer fails, the other one takes over, and so on and so forth. We can also see this playing out, let's say, in organizations. When we make progress, we'll talk about some of these security tools. But I just want to bring in the idea of firewall, for example. When it comes to technical controls, we have a type of a network security tool known as firewall. For example, in a network system, we don't rely on a single firewall. Firewall are actually built around, when we want to segment networks, we actually use firewall to guide each network segment. So in essence, we are also providing security in depth by making sure that multiple firewall solutions are implemented at every network segment. Are we together? Someone can indicate so I know when to move or go back. Hello?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right, thank you. So preventive controls focus on preventing a threat from exploiting a vulnerability in a system. So, and this they achieve by using either of these processes highlighted here. But when it comes to security in depth, we don't rely only on one type of security. We encourage the deployment of all of them. For example, we have the first one as access restrictions and authentication. So this involves the verification of the identities of users before granting them access to assets within, uh, be it an application or in an organization. We also have the firewall and network segmentation. In fact, it's very much difficult to talk about network segmentation without mentioning firewall, because firewall actually plays a key role. And what is this firewall that we have been talking about? Well, it is actually a network security tool that works on predefined rule. What we mean by predefined rule is that firewall works based on inbound and outbound rule. So it is this security tool or a network security tool we actually tell what to allow into the network and what not to allow. So in order for firewall to carry out its function, we must use IP addresses to apply those rules. So inbound rules simply means traffic coming inside of a network or inside of a device. And outbound rule is actually traffic going out. So it works based on these two predefined rules. So you can tell the firewall the type of packet to allow inside of the network or the type of packet not to allow outside of the network. And when we mention packet, of course, some of us know packet is nothing but data that is in transit. When we are forwarding data from one point to another, that time it is in transit, it is referred to as a packet. So whenever you hear the word packet, we are talking about nothing other than the transmission of data from one point to another. And how does this work? Well, we all have browsers. You know that time you are trying to visit, let's say, for example, facebook.com, there is actually a transmission of packets. Your browser is actually sending out requests to Facebook server. And in response, Facebook server is at the same time also responding to you. That's why you are able to enter that facebook.com and receive and log into their portal. So if, for example, now we use firewall rule to block your browser from accessing facebook.com, it simply means that you can browse every other website, but when you go to your browser and enter that facebook.com, it will not be able to load the page. And what enables firewall to provide this service is the use of IP and port numbers. So every server, of course, has an assigned IP address, and every application or software running also has a port number that is identifying it. So what you actually use in telling firewall to allow this packet or deny this packet is the corresponding IP address or port number of that server. We all know that computer systems don't understand human readable language. For example, when you go to your browser, you enter google.com. Yeah, that's google.com, there is actually a DNS server, that is domain name system. It has a server that helps in converting that human readable language, that is that google.com, to the corresponding IP address of that Google. So what computers understand is not that Google. What they understand is the IP address. So this simply means that if you want firewall to actually function well, you must apply those rules using the corresponding IP addresses. We also have the encryption and data protection. We know what encryption is, isn't it? Hello?
Hi.
Are we together?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
At least in its simplest form, we know what an encryption is. We all have password to our devices. That is the basic example of encryption, right? You are trying to protect the assets within that device from unauthorized access, of which without that decryption key, nobody will be able to have access to that device or the data it contains. That is encryption. Another basic example, I think for some of us that are very conversant with the MS Word, sometimes you can create a document and you lock it up. Why setting password for that particular document? Look at that encryption standard. You see AES 256. That is advanced encryption standard. So that is the very common type of symmetric encryption standard widely used today. So encryption is nothing but the conversion of plain text to a ciphertext. So when we talk about plain text is just as you are seeing this slide now, you are able to read everything that it contains. But if we have it encrypted, it simply means that maybe all you are seeing here will be marked with asterisk, or it will request for a password before you can have access to it. So encryption in its basic standard is just the conversion of a human readable format form of a data to a ciphertext, that is in a format that without the person having the authorized key will not be able to look into what that data contains. Then under it, you see examples, some of the protocols highlighted here. You see the TLS and the SSL. Well, this is a protocol that provides encryption of data that is in transit, right? If we all open our Gmail, which I will encourage us to do if our devices are handy with us, just open one of your email. If you open it, go to the details, like when you open a particular inbox, right? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah. So if you open your email, just open to any inbox at all. It doesn't matter who sent the message, be it from your bank, just open it. Under that to me or detail, just click on it, where you will be able to see the email, that is the person that sent you the email, where you'll be able to see those details like from, to, dates. If anyone is there, just let me know. Like when you open a particular inbox, click on that header where you'll be able to find informations like who sent you the email, the date, where your email address will be contained, and also the time. let me know when any of us are there. So you just see a standard encryption marked TLS there. Just click on that view security details. You will see what it will tell you. If anyone has found it, I would like us to read it out. That is what explains this TLS we are talking about. Now, let me check if I can just quickly. Are we there? Hello? Or is my network cracking?
I saw it.
Can anyone hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, you saw it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. If you click on that learn more, you will see. Just click on learn more and read out what you see there. You will see what it explains TLS to be, what it is providing. You will see that check your email security to protect your messages. Maybe be it Gmail you are using, it will tell you that Gmail encrypts them during transfer. And they can always check for their security to make sure that it has not been tampered. So what they are simply telling is that using that protocol, they are providing encryption of the packets that you are transmitting. That is when you are sending email or when you are receiving email, they are using that protocol to provide you the guarantee that this your email has not been intercepted or been altered, even if a man in the middle attack has been able to capture it. But using that TLS, they are providing the guarantee that no one has been able to look into the content of that your email. Then earlier on, I also talked about this AES, which is the 256. This one we can easily find if we make use of our MS Word. If you go there, open your MS Word. When you get there, let me just tell you where to find it. We might not have the time to be waiting for it, but you just see the standard I'm talking about. Let me just quickly run this here. Here. So just open any of your documents. Just go to File. You now go to Info. From that info, you see a whole lot of them. You see the first option there, Protect Your Document. If you click on that Protect Your Document, you will notice that the standard of encryption that is being used is that AES 256, which is the accepted standard of encryption today. That is when it comes to symmetric encryption. So we also have the full disk, database, email encryption, and so on and so forth. Then the second one is a security awareness training. Remember that all we are discussing about is security in depth. That is the bringing together of different security measures to protect an asset, right? Some of these, the access restriction we have talked about as the first, the firewall, the encryption and data protection, all of them fall under technical control, right? So we also have the security awareness training, which involve the training of workers on how to adhere to security best practice. And why is this important? It has been found that history has shown that humans are the weakest point when it comes to security because of a lot of things. Because you tell a machine what to do, the machine sticks to that. In fact, machine is a product of what you have programmed it to give you. But that is not the same with human being, because a lot of things can actually distract us. Most times when we fall prey to all these, when we become victim to all these threats, it doesn't mean that we don't really understand what it takes to protect ourselves against it. But sometimes a lot of things that happen beyond our control, which can be maybe as a result of stress or just maybe feeling too confident, taking things for granted. So for that reason, organizations invest heavily in providing this training awareness for its workers on a routine basis. We also have the physical security measures. This involves bringing maybe the implementation of security measures to protect those critical infrastructures in physical format. For example, some organizations have their network tools deployed on premise. It's not every organization that outsources their critical infrastructure. Some have it on premise. So for those that have their infrastructures on premise, they also pay attention to these security measures so as to make sure that where these infrastructure, such as their servers are stored, or maybe their network facilities where they are kept, are well protected. So we want to talk about detective control. The very first one we talked about was preventive. We want to focus on detective this time. So what are detective controls? They are strategies or mechanisms that monitor systems and networks to detect threats, anomalies, and security incidents in real time. Earlier, I've already talked about what a threat is. So a threat can mean anything that has the potential to exploit a vulnerability. Then anomalies is when things happen in an unusual way. So all these detective controls are built to detect and alert be it the system admins on these anomalies so that proactive measures or quick response can be taken to mitigate their impact as soon as possible. So what are some of these tools that are used in detective control? We have the intrusion detection system. So it's actually a network security tool that helps to monitor network traffic so as to identify malicious behavior and also to report them to the admins that have the expertise to actually triage and combat these threats. So it has some capabilities such as the signature-based detection, anomaly detection, protocol analysis, real-time alerting, and traffic logging. So what is actually a signature-based detection? This is how it works. For example, now, we have a threat intelligence platforms. So talking about signature-based detection, we are in essence talking about known threats that has already been registered in databases. What do we mean? For example, let's say there is a particular type of virus that is in circulation. So what threat intelligence do? They actually study the behavior of this virus, right? After studying it, they will now be able to update their system, right? After updating their system, what they do, they use it to provide services to all persons that they are serving. How this actually works, let's say maybe in an organization, they are using a particular type of IDS, be it is not the open source own or maybe the paid version. How these IDS work is that in this database, they have the signature base of these attacks. These attacks are, let's say, when these attacks infect a system, it behaves this way, it acts this way, this is how it moves. So it will have this behavior stored in its database. So whenever a packet is being sent or is being received into that network, it will first of all examine that packet by matching it against this known behavior. So what it simply means is that in real life, whenever you see somebody that appear like this, it means that this person is vulnerable. So if any person is coming into this building, examine this person to check if this person matches this behavior. If it matches this behavior, then mark it as a malicious packet. That is nothing but how this signature-based detection works in intrusion detection system. Then anomaly detection, we know what it means. When there is an unusual activity or behavior, then it will be reported as an incident. But it doesn't always mean that every incident that is reported by IDS is actually true. We have what we call the false positive. Now, let me explain how this can happen. Let's say you run a small business, or let's say you have a website where you post your products. Let's say you are into buying and selling. It's a new business. You have been selling, but since it's a new business, yeah, the number of persons that are patronizing you are not that much, right? Let's say you have this web-based intrusion detection system, and you know that this is to detect anomaly behavior. So maybe you go to meet somebody with high influence, let's say a celebrity who now happens to post your product on their page. Definitely a lot of customers will flood into that website that day. So using these ideas in that case now, it will report it to be an unusual activity. And of course, that is true. But in a real sense, those are legit customers that are actually coming to, patronize you. So that's why sometimes we avoid, it's not always in all cases we make use of IPS. Sometimes we prefer using these detective controls because they actually give us that flexibility of looking further into those packets to actually know if they are malicious or not. So we also have the log monitoring and analysis. We know where we can find our log, right, in our system, in our Windows system. Hello?
No, sir.
All right. So if you go to if you are using Windows, if you press on your Windows button, hold it and click R. That is R for run. Let me share this screen. Sorry. We can still see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay. I'm trying to see if I can share my screen so you see where to get your logs on your system. Just give me some seconds, I'm coming. Okay, let me just direct you from here. If you click on your Windows button, hold it and click R, it will bring it to a page where it says type the name of a program, folder, document, or internet resource, and Windows will open it for you. Hello?
Okay,
Are we
yeah,
there?
sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Has anyone gotten there? Click on that Windows button, hold it and click on your R on your keyboard. If you get there, let me know. So I will tell you what to type in to that empty box there. If it is filled with a CMD, just delete it and type what I will call out. If you are there, just let me know. We are not getting it.
We are there. We are there.
All right. So just type events, then VWR. Just type events, VWR, then you hit enter. If you hit enter, you see event viewer. You see all those custom views, Windows logs, applications, and services. We know that logs are records of our activity. So if you actually want to see everything you have been doing on your system, this is the portal where you have access to them. If you click on that Windows logs, you will see options like application, security, setup, system, and forwarded event. Just go to that security and click. You will see over, for my own, I am seeing about 34,975 logs. So you now see the event IDs. So if there is any failed login, any successful login, all your downloads and uploads, they are all recorded here. So the same thing also play out in all these network security tools we are talking about. So when we talk about log monitoring and analysis, it involves the examination of the overall activity that has been happening in a network system or in a device. So it serves a lot of good, even doing investigation when you want.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Somebody mic is on, so it's interrupting, please.
Oh.
Yeah, so the person.
Hello, please turn off your mic. Thank you.
Yes, we have muted it from here. You can proceed, sir.
All right. So that is what logs are. Logs are a record of every activity that happens in a network system or in a device. So if there is any issue or any incident that needs to be triaged, is from the log that you can actually investigate that incident. Let's say there is a problem, something happened, and you actually want to find out the root cause of that incident. You go from your log. That is actually where you have to search out for any incident that happens in a system. So we also have vulnerability scanning. So still don't forget that we are under detective control. So we have the vulnerability scanning. We have the automated tools that probe system networks, applications to actually identify weaknesses, misconfiguration, missing patches, and compliance gaps. Of course, we have a lot of these tools to play around. When we get to our practical stage, we have the tools like the AMAS, the MMAP, the OPSUIT, and so many of them. So we actually use it to run vulnerability scan on systems or websites to actually see if there are vulnerabilities in them. So they are also detective control. And sometimes when you, let's say you are preparing to sit for one of the professional exams in cybersecurity, this aspect also plays a key role. Sometimes they can give you a list of security measures and options and ask you to identify the ones that fall under detective control. So it's very much important that you know where each of these security is applied and how they are categorized, be it under detective, preventive, and corrective. So we also have the security audit and assessment. This is a systematic evaluation of security controls, policies, and procedures to help verify, identify gaps, and validate the effectiveness of security measures. So it's just like going over again, you know, what you have implemented, making sure that these security measures are actually meeting to standard and actually serving the purpose for which you implemented them. So that is what we mean when we talk about security auditing and assessment. So let's take a closer look at this key principle. It says early detection enables rapid response, right? We can easily relate to this principle even in real life. So when you are able to detect an incident on time, it becomes easier for the incident response team to actually mitigate and respond to that threat. Sorry, respond to the incident per se. So detective controls are most effective when integrated with incident response processes. So why we can rightly say that they are most effective when they are integrated with incident response process is just as simple as if you're able to detect an incident and you don't have what it takes to combat that incident, then it is almost as well as you not detecting it, right? So that's why it's best effective when it is integrated with incident response. Any questions so far before we go to the corrective controls? So mitigating damage and restoring incidents. Well, in cybersecurity, we always make use of this word to mitigate and not to remove. And what is the reason? It is simply because no matter how robust a particular security solution can seem to be, it is not immune to being compromised. As simple as that, right? So that is why we can rightly say that cybersecurity is an ongoing effort. You cannot say you have arrived. I have built a robust security solution. Nobody can bypass this security measure. There is nothing like that. We keep working every day. So in fact, it's like a two-way game, just like in a football. We have attackers and we have defenders. So we as cybersecurity defenders, we always work every day to make sure that our systems are able to withstand these attacks that are coming from the threats that are coming from the attackers. So we always make use of this mitigate. That is to reduce the impact of an exploitation on the system. That is what it simply means. So corrective controls are actions and tools that reduce the impact and of course restore normal operations after security incident has occurred. So the purpose of this corrective control is in the case of failure of preventive and in the case of when the preventive control fails and if the preventive control fails, that is where this corrective control comes to play. Because if, for example, we have IPS integrated in a security solution, that is IPS is intrusion prevention system. If it is optimal, if it is carrying out its work effectively, then there will not be any need for this corrective control. So corrective control only comes in when the preventive control fails, because there are some attacks that can actually bypass some of these very popular preventive controls. So when that happens, the next we are looking out for is the corrective measure, how to bring back the systems to their normal state and resume operation as quick as possible. So under corrective control, we have the incident response procedure. We also have the backup and recovery systems. We have the patch management. We have the business continuity plan. And we have the post-incident analysis and improvement. So incident response procedure is a documented playbook and procedure for responding to security incidents, and it includes containment strategies, eradication steps, communication protocols, and escalation paths to minimize damage and restore services efficiently. So when we talk about containment strategies, in incident response procedure, the first, of course, is the planning phase before we go for identification and containment. Now, containment is actually that phase when we are responding to an incident. The time of containment is actually the time of trying to, isolate that incident so that it does not spread to other unaffected assets or components within that network system. So in essence, we are trying to contain that incident so that its impact on other systems can be reduced before we now go to the eradication. So eradication is after we have contained the incident, then we talk about how we can, exfiltrate it from the system. Then communication protocols involve how this whole process is being communicated from, the head, from the management team to the technical team, the persons involved. So how do we communicate these whole processes and progress? That is the communication protocol. Then talking about escalation paths to minimize damage and restoring service efficiently is when you are done with your own part, you can now escalate and move the incident to the next level. For example, in Security Operations Center, there are levels to it. We have the Tier 1, we have the Tier 2, we have the Tier 3. Why? What is the reason for all these levels? Well, there are some incidents that a Tier 1 SOC analyst can efficiently respond to, right? Let's say there is a phishing attack. For a Tier 1 SOC analyst, at least you understand the basics. You understand how phishing simulation work. You know when an email is not real. So in such cases, you can independently handle such incidents. But there are some incidents that are beyond your level. What you do to such incident after investigating, we do what we call you escalate it. That is reporting to the incident to your superior. So the same thing is also applicable in incident response procedure. So after each phase, when every phase is done with their own, they always report the incident or escalate it to the next phase that will take the next action to follow up. We also have the backup and recovery system. They also fall under this corrective control. We know what backups are and recovery systems are. So we encourage that regular backup of critical data and system with tested recovery procedures. So we have the full incremental and differential backup stored securely, be it offsite or in cloud. So essential for recovering from ransomware, data corruption, or system failure. So the same reason why we have our normal data in our system backed up is also the same reason why organizations must make sure to have their critical infrastructures and data backed up. So we have the patch management. So this patch management comes to play when there is an identified vulnerability in a system. Then the organization or the security team will take the necessary steps to fix those vulnerabilities. After doing that, we can say that they have patched that vulnerability. So sometimes we might be using applications, and sometimes when you go, you see that this application has been updated. Some of us might think that that update is just as a result of them maybe changing one or two things or maybe trying to change their interface. Most times it is not the reason. We have minor update, of course, we have major update, but every update is always focused on correcting a flaw, right? So it is always advisable whenever you are using, be it any software at all or anything, be it a system, and you see that this version of OS has become obsolete or it has been updated, it is encouraging for you to always make sure to update to that latest version. Because before any organization or before any entity can update their system, well, there is a need for that. And most of the time, it is because there is a discovered vulnerability in the system. That is what actually prompts them to update system most of the time. So we also have the business continuity planning. And what is business continuity planning? Well, this is actually a plan set aside to help organizations to continue their everyday operation while recovering from an incident, right? So it's more like a backup plan. If this happens, can we continue running? Well, there are some things that if they are compromised, the organization can still continue running their everyday businesses. But there are also some critical infrastructures that when they are down, it simply means that the business is completely down. So organizations make sure to always have their business continuity plan in place so that no matter how bad an incident is, it will not stop them from at least carrying out their everyday operations. So this is a plan set aside to enable organizations to continue functioning while recovering from an incident. So we also have the post-incident analysis and improvement. So this post-incident analysis is actually more of a lessons learned. We talked about this incident response procedure where we mentioned stuff like containment strategy, eradication, communication protocol, escalation of the past, and also the restoring of or recovery of the system. So after having completed this process, we always encourage that auditing, that is the documentation of these results, so that now the senior management can work with this documentation to actually know how to improve their security posture, for one thing or two things at least, to prevent what has happened from repeating itself, and also to reinforce the system towards responding better in subsequent time. That is the essence of this post-incident analysis and improvement. And all of them falls under this corrective control. Any question before we move? I'm audible enough, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
very audible.
All right. Thank you. So we are making progress. Yeah, so we want to talk about some of the technical control measures. We come under the subheading of firewall. It's a network perimeter defense. I have already talked about it earlier, but firewall is nothing but that network security tool or a security tool in cybersecurity that helps to filter packets, based on predefined rule. I've earlier explained to us what packets are. When I mention packet, I simply mean that time that your message is moving from your device to another device. That time it is in transit, we call it packets. So firewalls are like those tools that actually inspect these packets that are in transit. Well, there are different type of firewalls. We have the endpoint firewalls. That is the one that reside on every device, even our Windows device. We have firewall on it, and we also have the network-based firewall. But every firewall works based on predefined rule, and that predefined rule is based on inbound and outbound rule. Yes, inbound rule are rules that govern how packets are received into a system. Why outbound rule are rules that govern how packets are exfiltrated or sent out of every system. But I don't know. Let me try and see if I can share my screen so that we just do something on this firewall on our respective systems so that we see what it looks like. I think every Windows system have a firewall. Let's try to see if we can block a particular website and test it from our browser and see how it works. Give me some moments. I'm coming. Okay, let's go to click on the same Windows run. Click on that Windows button, hold it and click on R. Then under there, type firewall.cpl. Firewall.cpl. Let me try sharing my screen. Just a moment, I'm coming. Trying to share my screen. The thing is not. So I'm coming.
Oh, can
Okay, so
somebody
can
who
you
has
give
gotten
the
there share his screen? Can someone who has gotten to that page share his screen?
All right. Let somebody just share screen. I will guide from there. That will be better.
Okay.
So reshare again. Good. Go to advanced settings.
I think we need to know how we got here. Can we go back?
Okay. From yes, go back so all of us can see. Yes. So you click on your Windows button and you hold it and you tap the R. You get here .cpl.
.c what?
PL. So this is just a shortcut for going in. We can also access this setting from our control panel, but this is a shortcut to it. So just hit OK. It will take us directly to the page.
Who is sharing this page, please? The person can click OK.
We are no longer seeing your screen. Oh, I can no longer see it.
Okay, just a moment. Yes. Okay. Mm.
Okay, so it is shared already, right?
So go to advanced settings. Yes. I hope all of us can see it.
Yes, we are seeing it.
So click on advanced settings.
Yes, I've clicked the advanced. So
Okay, like the thing will every new window you enter, you need to share it.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay. Okay, please, can the person sharing stop the sharing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm having. Okay. Please, somebody, Mr. Yemi, please, if you guys can share, please go ahead and share.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Adeyemi, you can click on the.
Can you see it now? Can you see it? I want to be sure.
Yeah, we can see it now. Type OK. Click on the OK. Yes. It stopped sharing. Oh, internet has logged
Yes,
out.
you have to. There's a new window that has opened. You have to reshare the new window.
Every window you open, just reshare.
Advanced setting is by the left-hand side. Advanced settings, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, that's it. That's it. That's the page to bring.
Exactly. So now from here now you can see Windows Defender Firewall. That is, I'm reading the contents on the left-hand side. You see the inbound rules, outbound rules. So these are the two rules that Firewall makes use of. So let's now see how we can block a particular domain using these two rules. So inbound rules are traffics flowing out of our system, while outbound are traffics, coming in. As you can see from the arrow there, you can see the inbound pointing outward, while the outbound is the arrow pointing in. So click on the inbound first.
It's only saying is that if you try to follow their language, you will soon enter.
Dr. Benito, please mute your device.
So you'll see now, under that inbound rule, go to your right-hand side, you will see a new rule. Let's now set a new rule. Click on that new rule.
It is saying, what type of rule would you like to create? Program, port, predefined, or custom?
Okay, we can no longer see your this thing. Go to port. The thing has gone back to that page of advanced setting. Just be reading it. Let's just be going from there. But the screen is just on that first page that shows advanced.
All right, Mr. Adeyemi, advanced setting. Mr. Adeyemi, click on advanced settings by the left-hand side. Yeah.
So if you go to that inbound rule, just go to new rule. Go to set new rule. If you go to that new rule, you will see program, port, predefined, and custom. Select port.
Port, okay.
Yes, if you select port, go to the next.
Okay.
If you go to next, you will see TCP, UDP. You will see that the TCP is already selected. Leave it like that.
Yes.
Then on that specific port, select port 443. Let's use 443. 443 is for HTTPS. Okay. So just type in 443 there. Then you go next. So under that next, you will see allow the connection. Allow the connection if it is secure. Select that block the connection. Select the last option there that says block the connection.
Okay.
Go next.
Block the.
Yes, you will see that the domain private and public is selected. Go next. So here now, let's type in the website that we want to block access to. Let's say, maybe let's use Facebook, for example, or YouTube. Just type in Facebook there. Facebook.com.
Okay.
If you type Facebook.com, then finish. You will see Facebook listed as one of the rules, and you see it will be marked, it will be hibernated. indicating that
Yeah.
you have set a rule,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now we go to outbound rule again. You know, we just did for inbound rule. You go to outbound rule again, repeat the same process.
Outbound rule, new rule.
Yes, from outbound rule, go to new rule, the same process we followed. You go to new
Okay.
rule, you select port.
Custom.
Yes. Then under that specific port, choose the 443.
Okay. Allow the
Select
connection.
block. Yes, block connection. Next, you put the domain again, the facebook.com.
Okay.
Finish. So let's try to see if our rule works.
Yes.
Right? To
Yes,
do
sir.
that, let's go to open your Chrome. Open your Chrome and enter facebook.com. If the rule works, it will be able to block that access. So go to Chrome and see if you can access facebook.com.
Okay. Huh.
Have you tested
Okay,
it?
so I don't know if everybody's following this at the same time, but we can make a copy of this practical and post it in the WhatsApp group.
Yes, that one is
can
not a problem. I
follow.
just wanted for somebody, if it's just one person to test it, to just make progress.
It says
Oh,
this
we
site
have a
can't
hand
be.
up.
Hello?
It is saying this
Like
site
if,
can't be.
yeah, this site can be reached, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly. So the firewall will work. So that is how we can actually block specific websites,
Address.
right? Even in our home. Every home router has an inbuilt firewall in it. If you have your home router, just log into it, go to settings, you'll find this. So any website you block using your firewall in your home router, it simply means that whomever connects to that network will not be able to access that website. So that is just a typical example of how firewall works. So be it in hardware form or in software, it works based on predefined rule. So what you give it based on the IP and the port numbers you give it, that is what it will work. But you see this example that we just played around with now did not give us that flexibility of uploading the IP address because they understand the persons using it, right? So in place of that facebook.com, in a real IP, in a real firewall setting, what is supposed to be there is Facebook IP address. But what they did for us now, they help us with their DNS server to resolve that facebook.com to their corresponding IP address. But that one is not an issue. We can always uncover the IP address of any website at all if you want it. You can do that from your command prompt. Just go there, type ns lookup, mention the website, or you do ping the website. It will always give you the IP address. So let's say you are looking for the IP address of your bank website. Just go to your command prompt. You easily get it using any of these two commands. Or maybe you are trying to transact with a particular company who has.
Mr. Jasper, sorry, please. Okay, so
Yeah.
you are. I think you're assuming that all of us are computer gurus. So,
Oh, sorry. Okay, you mean these commands I'm mentioning?
yes. So
All right. Okay, the command prompt, do you see that place you click using that same windows.run like Windows button, you click your R, right? That place you type in that firewall.cpl. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are with you.
If you go there, in place of that firewall.cpl, clean it and type CMD.
Okay. So your
Yes.
command
You can still share your screen for others to see, but it's simple, Sha. So that for those of us that are not handy with our system, we can always play around it. I don't know what happened to my Destiny, or whether I accidentally blocked the sharing of my screen. The thing is no longer presenting. And to resolve it, I would need to close them. But if someone can share the slide, no problem. We'll just be making progress.
Okay, let's try and see.
Yes.
That's module. Module, what is that again?
Yes. Enter. Is module 3.
Okay.
It takes on
If
to
you hit,
a window screen.
yeah, exactly. Like if you hit that CMD, it will take you to your command prompt. That black and white.
Yes.
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 So from here now, you can uncover any IP address of any website you can think of. So let's take, for instance, let's say you want to find the IP address of Facebook. So there
Yes,
are
sir.
2 commands I'm going to give you. The first one is to test the connectivity. Remember that I explained to you people earlier that computers don't understand human readable language. That
Yes, sir.
Facebook.com that you're putting in your browser, DNS is helping to resolve that Facebook.com to the corresponding Facebook IP address. So sometimes if you are browsing and you want to check if the problem is coming from your end or the very website you are trying to access, you can also troubleshoot that problem from this command prompt. So what you normally do, you come here, you type ping. So spell PING, type ping. Give space. If you type ping, just give 1 space, then type facebook.com. You are now trying to text your connectivity to Facebook server. So in an effort to provide you that connectivity, spell your Facebook well. In an effort to provide you that connectivity, they will also release to you the corresponding IP address to that website that you are pinging. So send, enter. Can you hear me? Just, so you see? So you see that pinging Facebook now, in brackets, 102.132.101.35. That is Facebook IP address. So you see this time to leave is helping you to learn how long, that is the latency of Facebook server from your browser, how long it took for your browser to connect to Facebook nearest server. So that's why I'm saying this TTL, that is time to leave. So it is moving at the speed of 19 meters per second.
Wow.
Yes. So
Sir,
another command you can.
Sir,
Hello?
in my own case, yes, sir. Yes, sir. In my own case, because I have blocked that
Yeah.
Facebook now, it's saying 100 packets sent for receive
Lost.
0 for 100%.
Yes, yes. So what you will now do, go back to that same advanced setting. You will need to disable it. There are 2 options. Don't delete. Make sure to disable before you delete. But there's no need for you to delete. Just disable. So this is what you will do. If you go to that advanced setting, get to that inbound rule.
Yes, sir.
If you click on that inbound rule, you will see Facebook hibernated being marked red, indicating that you have blocked access to that domain. So click on that line. Just click on that Facebook that you blocked. If you click it, then go to the right-hand side. You see options listed there. You see the option disable. If you just click on that disable, then you go to advanced rule, do the same thing. Then you can now get back to Facebook. So there is also another thing I want us to do on this command prompt before. Just keep sharing the screen. Now, if you want to know how old a particular website is, right? Let's say you are trading with a particular platform and they are claiming to have their headquarters, or they are claiming to be an American company, and you want to actually investigate to know where this company is based, you can actually get some info using their website. So the next command I am to show you people now is what will help you to find out how old a particular website is. In fact, it will even give you up to the point of knowing the credit card that subscribed for that domain when that domain was first deployed.
Hello, sir.
So if you come, yes.
Hello, sir. Okay, sorry, before you proceed, I just want to get that command again to take me back to undo or to disable the inbound command that we already gave.
Firewall.cpl.
Okay. Thank you.
So this, all right. So this place now, in place of getting the full detail of this address, now let's type NS lookup. NS lookup. Just type it. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Are you seeing it? I've typed it already.
Maybe it's my network. I'm not seeing the thing.
No, he's still sharing his screen.
Now, give space. Give space and type facebook.com. We are going to see a lot more information about this address now. Possibly the time the website was built and some other information about it. Maybe my own network is sluggish. What I'm seeing from here is just only the NS lookup.
I'm waiting until you see the file hit.
Yes, hit enter. I can see Facebook now. Are you seeing anything from your own end?
Yes, as soon as I hit enter.
So we can all see it here now. Okay, it didn't give us much information.
It didn't give us
non-authoritative. Okay, let me just quickly do it from my end. The last time I did it, it gave me a detailed information.
Okay, but sorry, if I may ask, why is it giving some? Why did they give this response, non-authoritative answer? There should be a reason why some will have access to it, why some will not have. Actually, I'm
yes,
not
let me just
Facebook
quickly.
and I'm not blocked, so all right.
Yes, I'm just coming. Let me just quickly check my this one. Okay. Sorry. I think I missed the command. It's supposed to be who is. Okay. Now recognize. That's cybersecurity for us. Good. So you are asking why you are getting this non-authoritative, right? So
Yes,
this is
yes,
the
please.
meaning of this non-authoritative. If you are visiting a website for the very first time, right? We have what we call the authoritative or recursive DNS resolver. So when you see this non-authoritative, it's simply indicating that it is not your first time of accessing this domain. Now, this is how it works. If you are accessing a domain for the very first time, your browser will check in its cache to see if this website has been visited before. If not, it will now probe an authoritative server, right? We have the DNS that helps in converting these domains to domain address to IP addresses, right? So it will look in this catch if this website has not been visited before using this browser. It will use authoritative DNS to actually probe nearby DNS servers to help them locate this server. So for you to see non-authoritative here simply means that you have been visiting this website. So it is already stored in your browser's cache. So the DNS that is helping to resolve this Facebook now is not probing directly. It is using what is already stored in your browser's history. That's why I'm seeing this non-authoritative. But if it is the very first time you are visiting this website, you will see authoritative answer. And it will take a bit longer. The command I was actually thinking of using is the whois command, but it doesn't work on this our command prompt. It's only on PowerShell and Kali Linux. So we'll be privileged to do that in our subsequent class. So this NS lookup is actually to give us to the IP address and to help to verify if our DNS is resolving fine. So the command to actually see the full detail of a particular domain address is whois. That is spelling of who, WHO. Together, you spell it together with the is. Then you give space and you now put the domain. That is the one that we give you, but we do it on PowerShell or in our Kali Linux. So please, I would like someone to share all the presentation slide, please. I can no longer share from my end. We are in module 3.
So is Dr. Manito there?
Can anyone hear me? We need to reshare our screen, please. We are in module 3.
I can hear you, but I don't know if Dr. Manito is hearing
Okay,
you.
yes, I'm here. Okay, so let me find the module 3. Okay, so I think I'm having a challenge to sharing my screen from here.
Oh, could it be a general? Because the same thing. What is the like? What are you seeing? What's the message you're seeing on your screen?
Like you can't share your screen.
The same thing too. I thought maybe it's from my browser.
Something went wrong when screen sharing. Try restarting your browser. The problem continues.
Can you change the browser?
Okay,
Okay, that
that
will
is.
mean try and change the browser and see if it will work. It can resolve it. Sorry, Dr. Manito, which browser did you use? Mr. Amadi, which one did you use?
I'm using a Firefox.
Okay. Is it the same that Dr. Manito is using?
Oh, okay. I've seen where.
The problem is okay.
Okay, yeah. Let me try again now. Yeah, I think I accidentally blocked the stuff. I'm coming. Let me go back to the slide. Yeah, we can all see it now, right? I'm sharing my screen now.
Yes, I can see your screen now.
So let's continue. So that is just little on firewall. So there are different types of it and its different application and states. We have the packet filtering. This is the type of firewall state that examines the packet headers. So when we talk about packets, it's no longer new to us now. I explained that when data is in transit, we refer to it as a packet. And when we talk about packet headers, they are actually those information that that data actually needs to make sure it arrives at its destination. What do we mean? For example, you are sending hello from your WhatsApp to a friend. Well, a lot of things actually happen behind the scene. And what actually enables that hello to safely arrive as hello is with the help of these packet headers. What do we mean? That packet now will be embedded with both your own IP and the destination IP. It will also have both the source port number and the destination port number, and also details like the packet size and so on and so forth. So all of these make up what we call a packet header. So simply think of it as you are sending a packet, you are sending a gift to somebody using a boat ride, or let's say all these dispatch riders. Of course, you know that what you will give to that dispatch rider to deliver that information will include the destination address where he is to deliver this, possibly the phone number of the recipient, and every information that he will need to deliver it. Now, when this dispatch rider gets to that location, he will also want to re-verify to make sure that the person he's actually giving this thing is the rightful person. Possibly he can ask questions like, who are you expecting to receive this thing from? What is your phone number? So the same thing also play out in networking. So when we are communicating, when we are sending our email, that email, while it is in transit, it is always embedded with these packet headers, which include both our own IP and the IP address of the device where we are sending this message to. Also the port number and the port number of the device that is to receive this packet. So what is actually the difference between this IP and port we have been talking about? Just a little light on it. IP address is actually what identifies different devices on the network. Just as I earlier mentioned that computers don't understand human readable language. What they understand is numbers, and that number is binary based number. So the same thing also applies in networking. For two devices to effectively transmit, to exchange packets, they must have their IP addresses. But now in our system, we know that we have different programs running, right? So you have your PC, I have my own. Now every PC has a unique IP address, isn't it? But inside that your computer, there are a lot of programs running. Or let's just take, for instance, your browser. We open our browser now, we have many tabs open, and they all belong to different websites. Let's say I send a message to Mr. A on Facebook. He's not responding. I now choose to follow him up on WhatsApp. I send him another message on email. Now remember that Mr. A is using just one system. And on that his system, email app is running there. Facebook app is also running there, as well as what? WhatsApp. So what is that thing that will actually enable Mr. A to receive these messages differently on these different applications? Remember that he's making use of one system, and that his system has only one unique IP address. But what is that extra thing that will help that packet to know that, okay, this message is for WhatsApp and not for Facebook? This one is for email and not for Instagram. That is where port comes in. So port is what identifies different programs, different applications that run on a network device, right? So we can now say that, let's say a plaza, for example, let's say there is a plaza in Barnes. So that plaza can, the address to that plaza, we can use IP address to identify it. But inside that plaza now, there are different offices. So we can now say that port number represents those different offices that are inside that plaza. So if you are to send somebody an errand, or if you are to invite somebody to your office, of course, you give the person both the address of the building and also the address to your office space. So that is how port and IP address work. So IP identifies devices, while port identifies different programs and softwares running on devices. So as we earlier mentioned, this firewall operates on different levels. We have the application level, we have the stateful inspection, we also have the next generation firewall. This next generation firewall have integrated into their system the IPS, the IDS, even the secure circuit layer inspection, and even threat intelligence, and so on and so forth. I'm sorry, I might not be breaking them down one after the other, but we are going to pick the very key points so that we'll be able to cover up our slide. So the rule configuration and the policy management. So firewall work based on rules. So it's based on what you tell it to do, that's what it will do. So just as we block that facebook.com, then that is what we have instructed it to do. If we try to browse other domains, we see that we will be browsing freely to them. So it's based on what you want it to perform. So we can also set firewall rule to actually block out every other connection, but only allow this. We can do that just as we normally do on our WhatsApp status. We can choose to block certain contacts from viewing our status. And as well, we can also choose to block only a specific user and allow every other person. The same thing also plays out. Then there is a key thing I want to explain here. That is this DMZ architecture. There is what we call the demilitarized zone. So this demilitarized zone in network setting is actually a zone that houses publicly accessible infrastructures. So it is actually a zone that helps segment these public-facing infrastructures from private network. We know that private network holds critical infrastructures that are not supposed to be open to the public. So, for example, let's think of a database, a bank database, of course, is not something they are to allow for the public to have access to. But their website, for example, is actually for public use. So this DMZ is actually where institutions like banks have their domain address reside. So it is actually a zone in a network setting that will help segment some of this infrastructure from their internal infrastructure, those things that reside in their private network, such as their database. And what helps to create this segmentation is also just what we have played around with, that is the firewall. So in network security, if we talk 10 things, we always 8 or 6 will be about firewall. So firewall cannot be overemphasized when it comes to network security. So we always make use of it. So that is what this DMZ architecture means. So it's a demilitarized zone. So if we also come to our professional class and level, we have our software we always play around to actually see how these things play out in real life. We have the Cisco Packet Tracer where we have most of these our networking devices we have been talking about. We'll learn how we can create a simple network topology, create this demilitarized zone, use firewall rule and access control list to actually segment some networks from reaching others, and so on and so forth. So we have the IDS and the IPS. The IDS stands for Intrusion Detection System, while the IPS is the Intrusion Prevention System. So they are very similar. The only difference here is that one only identifies and signals or sends alerts, while the other one identifies and takes proactive steps in preventing that incident from happening. So that is the difference between IDS and IPS. But sometimes in many organizations, or maybe towards the protection, maybe when we are trying to protect a particular asset, many organizations choose to use IDS over IPS because of the effect of false positive. What is false positive? False positive is actually when an alert is raised, but after reviewing that alert, we now found out that it is not actually a real incident or a threat per se, right? And I explained something earlier about a website traffic. Let's say on a normal basis, your website you built for your private business, maybe say in a day, you might experience just 10 or 15 persons visiting the website. But after you run ad on that business, you now notice, a quick increase. maybe instead of that regular 10 to 15 customers visiting the website on a daily basis, you are now recording over 10,000 or let's say 1,000 visits. So if you have your IDS in place, it can actually trigger a suspected denial of service attack. So denial of service attack is actually a type of attack that centers on overwhelming a server with excessive traffic so that that server will not be able to actually respond to those lot of traffic. By so doing, it will render that server ineffective at that moment. And some of these things we experience it, let's say, if we remember the time, maybe let's say when we are writing WIRE or JAMB or any exam, for example, the moment these platforms announce that result has been released, we always notice one thing, that that very first, second day is very difficult to actually access their services from their website because a lot of users at the same time are trying to visit that website. So in essence, that is actually what a denial of service type of attack looks like. So if we have our IDS in place, even when legitimate users are actually coming, it can signal a denial of service type of attack. So now come to think of it that in place of these IDS, you will now use IPS, for example. So instead of giving you that flexibility of looking into this packet to actually allow or deny, it will take that step by blocking them. And in essence, it's actually blocking real users from accessing your service. So it depends on what you're protecting and what the circumstance demands. We actually determine the type of security control you have to deploy in any given instance. So under these IDS and IPS, we have the network base and we also have the host base, right? So sometimes in exam, they might ask you the type of IDS that is fitting or that is suitable for protecting a network system. Just know that they are talking about network-based intrusion detection system. Just as what we played around on that firewall, the one we just did recently, we can say that that type of firewall we use is a host-based type of firewall because it's a type of firewall that is actually protecting our host system. So there are also type of other security controls that are built to protect network systems, right? Are we good to go? I want to make sure that I'm audible enough that we all are hearing me.
Yes, you are audible.
All right, thank you. So we also want to talk about antivirus and anti-malware solution, right? So what is actually the difference between a virus and a malware? Does any of us know why we have antivirus and anti-malware? Well, at least we know what a malware is. It's a malicious software. So virus is an example of a malicious software. We have a lot of, and then we have the worm, you can name. So virus is a very popular type of malicious software that we always encounter on a daily basis. So we have systems that help fight against this virus, and we categorize them as a antivirus softwares. And how do they actually work? We have the signature-based detection. So this signature-based detection is a type of antivirus system that works based on its signature database. What is the signature database? It simply means, okay, there is a new threat in town, right? We have all these any.run, virus total, that is for threat intelligence platforms. So what they normally do, they scan through systems and they have registered in their database known malwares. So these malwares are malicious software. So when there is a new malware in town, this threat intelligence platform make out time to study the behavior of this malware. And after studying it, they will use it to update their database, right? So what they normally do, if you now have their solutions integrated into your security system, if there is any packet, be it an uploading of file or receiving of file, what this signature-based detection does is actually to match that packet against its database. So what it's actually doing is help me examine. So this database is more like a mirror. check if this packet looks like any of what we have marked in this system to be malicious. So if there is any similarity between that packet and what has been marked as malicious, it will flag that packet as being corrupted. That is just the simple format. That is how antivirus work. So if you have antivirus system installed in your computer, that is the format it functions. So if somebody is slotting in a USB drive or sending you a file while you are downloading or uploading anything, it's always the antivirus installed on your system scans through that device that has been slotted. So before it can allow the transmission of packet between that installed device, it must scan it against its signature base to see if any of the registered malware matches with the behavior found in this material you are exchanging resource with. Is there? I hope I'm clear. Did we get my explanation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But
All right.
you didn't differentiate between a malware and a virus, sir.
Okay, the malware, I explained malware to be a malicious software. That is a short form of a malicious software, right? Now, virus is a type of malware. I said there are a lot of malware, but the very popular one is virus. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is for signature based. We also have the heuristic analysis. This one examines the code structure and the behavior pattern to also identify suspicious characteristics. So we also have the behavior-based analysis, which studies the behavior of a particular threat to actually have it registered in the database so that when something comes, it matches it against it. Then another one I would like to talk little on is this cloud-based intelligence. That is where the threat intelligence comes in. So instead of exposing you to always going to different platforms to search out for threats, these threat intelligence platforms have simplified the tasks for cybersecurity professionals in the sense that in some of these security solution applications, it is integrated with the threat intelligence platform. So, for example, if you have a paid version of, let's say, VirusTotal or any.run, that is an example of some of these threat intelligence platform, and you have it integrated into your security solution, it simply means that everything you are doing in that environment is always being matched against the database of that threat intelligence platform that has been integrated into your system. So you no longer need the software engineers to build a dedicated software for you that will be doing the work for you. So you just, is a paid service. So you just pay and they will have it integrated into your system. So what enables them to offer this service is cloud technology. So we have it as cloud-based intelligence. So there are also some limitations of traditional antivirus, such as the zero-day vulnerability. So what is actually a zero-day vulnerability? A zero-day vulnerability is actually a type of vulnerability that exists in a system without the knowledge of the persons that built that system. So what do I mean? Let's say there is a new product in town. So before the owners of that product actually deploy it, they must have actually examined its performance, and they must have scanned and made sure that this system matches with the current standard, like it is safe enough to be deployed to the market. So if there is any attack later, it simply means that that exploitation was as a result of a vulnerability that was existing in that system without the knowledge of those that built it at first. So let me give a simple illustration in this format. Let's say you park your car, you went to a mall to get something and you park, and forgetting that you forgot to lock your door, right? So to you, we can say that that's you forgetting to lock your door at that moment is making that your car to be vulnerable to attackers, right? But it is unknown to you, like you are unaware that you did not lock your car. So that can be a typical example of zero-day vulnerability. So it's just a vulnerability that exists in a system without the knowledge of the owners of that system. So traditional antivirus can suffer from this limitation because they work based on what you feed them with. So if I have included in this antivirus database, let's say a 10,000 signature based type of attack, right? That antivirus will only be effective when there is a known attack. That is a type of attack that is already registered in this database is coming. That is when that antivirus can actually fight. But how about if a threat that is coming is unknown to the database of that antivirus? Then it renders it ineffective, as simple as that, because it is actually functioning based on what you are feeding it with. So it has limitation when it comes to zero-day vulnerability. We also have the performance impact because it means that for every packet that is to come into the system, it must go through this antivirus database. Therefore, reducing the efficiency or the time of how fast this system can actually respond. So I also want to talk on the social engineering bypass. So in cybersecurity, when we talk about social engineering as a type of attack, it's actually that type of attack that leverages the playing or maybe trying to play on human psychology. So this type of attack doesn't try to fight with the machines, but it's trying to play on the human intelligence. So let's say I am the MD or the IT support to a big firm, and I have the login password to a lot of privileged accounts. So a social engineer attacker will actually look out for me, be it through my social media account or even in person, just trying by every possible means to craft out a compelling message or something that will move me, to divulge or to release to him confidential information that on a normal basis I'm not supposed to release to any third party. That is what social engineering is all about. So it is also limited to social engineering type of attack because you can actually deceive the machine into, believing something to be coming from a legitimate source when it is not from a legitimate source. So under it, if you look closely on my slide, you see the caption that reads, users can be tricked into disabling antivirus or granting malware permission, rendering technical protections ineffective. So how can this work? Let's say I want to attack an individual using social engineering. Maybe I want to hack a president's account. That is what we call phishing simulation. So if we are learning on this type of attack, we actually train our students on how to identify common phishing links. So in an effort to do that, we also teach you how you can create some of these links. Because when we go to train workers on security best practices, especially on this phishing attack, after training them, we also test their adherence to what we have taught them. And one way we can do this is actually by us creating this malicious link and sending out to their emails. So we actually measure their ability to learn or how they are adhering to the training based on how they are able to identify and respond to this email. Let's say I want to hack a person's Facebook account, for example. If I just send you an unsolicited email asking you to click on this link, it might not move you to do something, but I can write a message that will read something like this. Your Facebook account has been accessed from an unauthorized location or from an unusual location. Please, if you are not the one responsible for this action, kindly follow this link to deactivate the action or to block this action, right? A lot of persons will be moved to follow the link because none of us will want to lose our account. But that is just one of the tactics. So upon you following that link, of course, it will take you to Facebook portal. But that Facebook portal is actually a spoofed address. So when we use Secure or Zfisher, some of these tools on Kali Linux, we use it to play on these things on real time. You see how everything you are typing on that portal will just be showing on the Kali machine. So if, for example, you want to now hack an individual social media account, if you send that link to the person and the person clicks on that link and tries to enter, because when you click on that link, it will just give you the idea of follow this link to block action. So clicking on that link, it will land you to a Facebook portal page that will request you to put your email address or your phone number and the corresponding password, of course, relating to that, your address, for you to complete this action. Upon you producing these two things, the next thing you will see, thank you, our technical team is working to resolve it. Thank you for providing us the information. But the moment you are submitting that, the attacker is already having access to those email and password. So that is a type of social engineering. So in essence, they can also bypass this antivirus. And in the same way, they can also use it to lure you or push you into deactivating this antivirus you have activated, in the sense that for them to complete this action, please grant this privilege or make sure to disable this. So you playing according to their trick, they have been able to bypass that security control set in place by the antivirus. Any questions so far? Any question?
For now.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
so
don't
we
have
have
any
the
question.
endpoint
People can-
detection and response.
Okay, so we have a hand up. We have a hand from Ruth Obi.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, mine was not really about the question about your course, because I think it's really straightforward. But I think I have a problem with the link that is being sent for attendance, because yesterday I couldn't register my attendance, and today I'm seeing going to the same path. So please, I would like you guys to work on it. The link is not clickable at all, and you can't keep attending a meeting where you don't register your presence. I don't know if they read the messages that we drop complaining about the link. So that I just want to keep that in, because I think I've been dropping messages and no response. Thank you.
We actually got your messages, but we cannot say exactly why you're not able
The
to
link
register.
is clickable. That link is
Because,
clickable. I just
we
did
already
now.
have
I
we
just
have
did
more
now.
than 115 people that have already signed their attendance. So we cannot say exactly. Maybe you have a
Joins with the
firewall
phone.
that is existing.
What joins with the phone? You can't click the link. If you join the Google Meet link via the phone, you can't click it on the text box via the text box. I had to type it out and copy it and take it to a browser before I could access it. So that's what
I just
she's saying.
clicked it now. I just clicked it now, and it took me straight to that page again.
Okay,
So
maybe
maybe
people
some
have
problems.
it,
These problems are peculiar to
Obi,
individual
what
settings.
exactly is the challenge? What challenge do you
Okay,
notice on your screen?
when you click on it, it's meant to take you to the browser or the form,
Yes.
but it doesn't
Yes.
move at all. So I just heard somebody saying they had to type it, right? Maybe I could try that, right? Maybe I could try.
Or you can
typing
also
it.
copy it if it's possible for you to copy it.
You
Just
can copy
it
the link
to your
and paste in
browser.
the browser.
It doesn't copy at all. It doesn't copy. That's if it's copy. Why wouldn't I do that? I would have done that.
Okay. Are you on the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I'm on the WhatsApp group.
Okay, can you send the admin a message so she will send you the link directly to you. If there's anybody having such issue, please just send a direct message to the admin, and she will send you the link. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Jasper, for interrupting your class.
No problem. So under endpoint detection and response, we know it to be the next generation endpoint protection, which combines advanced threat detection, investigation, and automated response capability. So it works based on behavioral analytics and machine learning, incident investigation and forensics, automated response, and remediation. So this is the step it takes when it comes to endpoint detection and response. It is first of all monitor and identify unusual behavior. What this simply means is, let's say you've been using your bank app for a while. Well, actions like, let's say, changing of PIN, changing of password, they are unusual because these actions are not what you do on a daily basis, right? And that's why whenever you prompt or whenever you make requests to change your password, it will always take you through verification phase to actually make sure that it is you who is actually requesting for this service. So that is a product of endpoint detection and response. So it works based on behavioral analysis. So if it suspects an unusual activity, it will report it as an incident for investigation. So that is where that authentication comes in, right? The verification of the identity of the person requesting for that service to make sure that it matches with the right individual. So if otherwise, maybe if the authentication fails, then there will be an automated response and remediation. That is either they will lock out that account temporarily, requesting for you to visit a branch office before they can have it deactivated. So that is how it works. So when there is an unusual activity, it will prompt for investigation. So if the investigation fails or if the individual is not properly authenticated, then the account might be locked temporarily. So that is a product of endpoint detection and response. So I would like to move to the next slide. So we have network segmentation. So that is, it reduces the attack surface. So like I mentioned earlier, if we go proper into practical, we'll be able to see how we can segment networks. So network segmentation actually helps in reducing attack surface, right? So this is how it works. Let's say in an organization, of course, they have the HR department, they will have the financial department, the technical team, the IT support, and so on and so forth. And each of these departments, of course, have what they work with, right? So network segmentation is actually the type of security practice that makes it possible that if one department is compromised, it will not easily escalate to other departments. So we achieve that success through network segmentation. So instead of having all the departments controlled by one central system, we use network segmentation to isolate the networks so that we can prevent both lateral movement and privilege escalation. So that is what network segmentation is. It's what we call subnetting. For example, now, if, in cybersecurity, there are a lot of career paths. We have the network security engineers, we have the network admins, we have the security operation centers, a lot of them. We have the digital forensics, cloud security engineers, and so on and so forth. So if you happen to find yourself in the networking field, we segment network through subnetting. What we call subnetting, let's say as a network admin, you are to set up a network system for a small business. And the IP address that is available for you to work with, let's say it ranges from 1 to 100. So if you actually want to segment and make sure that all the departments does not fall under the same network, we use what we call subnetting to do that. So when you do the calculation, you'll be able to segment each of these networks, which means if a particular network segment is compromised, right, it will not easily escalate to the next network segment because every segment will be compartmentalized with a firewall or an IDS, meaning that every packet that is to move out of any segment will be properly inspected. So in essence, we use network segmentation to reduce that attack surface so that what is compromised will remain there and will not escalate to nearby devices or networks. So we have the logical segmentation. We also have the security zones, and we have the IP subnet and the inter-VLAN routing control. We'll all see to it as we make progress. So we have the micro segmentation, which is also closely related to normal segmentation. But this micro segmentation is actually a detailed format of segmentation. That is not just segmenting based on network, but even segmenting up to the programs running on those networks, right? So it simply means if we want to apply micro segmentation on our system, for example, we are making sure that if the Facebook on our system is compromised, it remains only on Facebook. We will not employ that single sign-on. It's more like a zero trust type of security strategy. What we mean by a zero trust security strategy is even when a packet is moving within the same network, it will still be inspected as long as it is moving from one device to another. So that is micro segmentation. So segmenting to the list of them, even up to application level. So it's not just on network level alone. That is micro segmentation. So we can see the application level, the zero trust, the east-west traffic control, and the workload-based segmentation, and so on and so forth. So we have the virtual private network, VPN. So I would like to throw this question open. Let's just see, what do we know VPN to be? Can any of us help us? When we hear that VPN, what comes to our mind? What do we think it to be?
Well, to me, sorry, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, I don't know exactly, but I know that for VPN, it allows us access to the internet in a way that masks probably the original place where we are logging in from. And at the same time, it's not so much, you are not using the regular network that is probably known to government or regulated by the government. That's my own idea of VPN, whether I'm correct or not. So.
Yeah, you are not far from it. You, in fact, that's true in the sense that you help to explain some of the services VPN provide, but that is not the very essence of a VPN.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I think VPN is the privacy protection. So it helps us to hide the IP address. Yeah.
That's true. It's something with
to keep it hidden.
Yeah. That is true. Hiding of VPN, that is masking of hiding of our IP address is just one of those features that VPN provides, or one of those services it provides. But the very essence of VPN is actually to encrypt our packets that are in transit, right?
Okay.
Yeah, is to encrypt our packet that is in transit. So it's just like, what will I use for example? Now let's say a car, for example. A car can serve us many benefits, but the very essence of a car is to move us from one point to another, right?
Yeah.
That also applies to VPN. So the very essence of VPN is to provide a secure connection over a public network. Sometimes if we have attended some of these security programs or trainings, we always see that when it comes to security best practices, or if we have studied and learned about safe browsing, you always see that recommendation of making use of a reputable VPN while browsing.
That's to say it keeps your connection safe, secure.
Yes.
And also provide, safe from all these data threats, cyber threat. That's it.
Yes, exactly. So if you are browsing using a VPN, automatically you are having your packets encrypted, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
There is an attack we call man-in-the-middle attack. That type of man-in-the-middle attack is actually a type of attack that the attacker will sit in between your browser and the server you are visiting, right? So if you are browsing a public network without a VPN. It simply means that whomever that is performing a man-in-the-middle attack can actually intercept and look into what you are communicating, especially when you are browsing a website that is not running on TLS. You know that if you are browsing and you see insecure, it simply means that that browser is not running on the secure version of HTTPS. Sorry, on HTTP. No, HTTP is a hypertext transmission protocol. That is the protocol that web traffic make use of. So if you are using a VPN to browse, it simply means that even when your packet is intercepted, the person will not be able to see the contents of that your packet.
So does it have a disadvantage, the VPN?
Yes, it has. That is when you are using a non-reputable VPN. That is the disadvantage it has. For example, for you to remotely work with some platform, they must ensure that you are logged into their VPN. Let me explain this now. Let's say you are connected to a public Wi-Fi, for example. If I am also connected to the same network with you, I can actually use my Wireshark to filter every packet that is transversing across that network.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Do you get? So, but when you use a VPN, number one, the VPN will provide masking of IP address. Number one, right? Now, even if the person is able to filter those packets, if you are browsing using a reputable VPN, it simply means that that person will not be able to see the contents of that your packet. Just as that message you read on your Gmail, when you click on that detail, you go to that TLS. That TLS will help you to understand that that protocol alone ensures that your message is end-to-end encrypted.
Encrypted, yeah.
Yes. So that is the essence of.
Yeah, I understand.
Go ahead.
So sorry, thank God this question came up. I also want to know if we have categories of VPN, like we have the stronger ones and if we have the weaker VPNs. Okay.
Exactly. There are free VPNs now. There are many of the ones we use for our practical sections are free. There are VPNs you pay over thousands of dollars per month to use.
Okay. Like those
so you cannot compare their performance with freely accessible VPN. In fact, we warn against the use of free VPN.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, it's risky to even use those free VPN.
All right.
Those
so that's the
VPNs are problems. You need to subscribe and buy a proper one. Otherwise,
yes,
they even expose you more to dangers.
Yes. So we also have this protocol again, the IPsec. So it is actually a layer 3 protocol. Well, that is, we understand these layers when we go deep into networking and we talk about the OSI model. Layer 3 belongs to network layer, and that is where IP, all this protocol, ICMP, all of them operate. They operate on layer 3. So for VPNs now, for them to actually provide this encryption of data in transit, they must run on this protocol you see here, this IPsec, that's Internet Protocol Security. So they must run on this protocol. And what is a protocol in networking? Let's just understand this so that we'll not be confusing ourselves hearing the word protocol. So protocols are just nothing but standardized set of rules that define how packets are exchanged, right? So these are rules that govern the transmission of packets from one point to another. That is what a protocol is. So irrespective of the vendor, the product you are using, all of them follow the same protocol, which simply means whether you are running on Mac OS or this or that, your packet will always arrive when due. Like you can always communicate with different vendors at the same time. That is the essence of the protocol. So for every solution or every network measure or software that is to provide encryption of data in transit, they must run on this IPsec as a protocol. That is the standard protocol they use. then you are seeing the SSL and the TLS. So SSL is the secure circuit layer, more of an older version of TLS. So the current version of the TLS that is in place now is TLS version 3. So don't worry about all these. We are also going to see it in real time when we start using this Wireshark. So when we get into our proper class and our advanced class, I will show us how we can actually use Wireshark to capture network traffic. So you see how if you are connected to a public network, you can use Wireshark to actually collect all the packets that are traversing across that network. And these are some of the reasons why some persons will be like, who reported me to EFCC, how we are there able to monitor and get to know me. They make use of this Wireshark. They can go to public places, restaurants, hotels, hospitals. So you don't know what they are playing around. And when it comes to network capturing of network packets, there are a lot of tools. It's not just limited to Wireshark alone. We have even external network adapters we can use. Somebody can just plug something in his system. You don't know that it's capturing all the activity of every individual that is connected to a public network where he is staying. So such things happen. So we are going to learn all these things in real time and see how it is applied in cyber security. So we are making progress. So we have the proxy server. Some persons mistake the proxy server to be VPN, serve as intermediaries between our proxy servers serve as intermediaries between our web browser and the server we are visiting, right? So bankers make use of this. It also improves performance in the sense that it's more like it stores our browsing experience, right? And it always acts based on what we have fed it with. Do we get? So proxy server, of course, have their own IP address. So if you are using a proxy server, it also means that your own IP address is being matched. Because when you are accessing the internet using the proxy server, the IP address that will be visible to the public network is the IP address of the proxy, not your own private IP address. But it does not provide encryption of packets that are in transit. That is the difference between a proxy server and a VPN. But it can mask your IP and also improve the performance. That is storing and getting used to your browsing experience. So it always acts based on what you want it to. If you frequently visit this website, it simply means operating with a proxy server will always make it quick whenever you want to access that particular service that you always access. So bankers use it to amplify their network signals and increase performance. So we want to come to encryption and cryptography fundamentals, right? Already we talked about little on encryption when we want to convert. Somebody saying something?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, before you go on this VPN, you know, phones like iPhones, when you go, there is a person they ask you to on or to switch it on. Is that one the secure type or it's not?
You say on iPhone, they ask you to do what?
There is, when you go to settings, you get switch on VPN or power it on. So that one, is it secured or you don't have to use that one?
It's secure because it comes with an iPhone.
One of the features iPhone, one of the protection iPhone has that makes them even more advanced than the other phones. So those ones are inbuilt and they are part of Apple's security for every phone. That is why it is difficult for you to trace or hack an iPhone. So that one, those ones are okay. If you are not downloading, what he explained is any free one, anything you're not getting that does not come from a reliable producer or someone who is reliable, like iPhone, for example, Samsung or any other renowned name, you are just you are in trouble. But those ones are known, and that is one of the perfect security measure that iPhone or Apple has on their phones to enable you. So those ones are okay.
Thank you very much. You get the point?
Yes, please. I've understood now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So I want to move to encryption and cryptography. I explained earlier what encryption is. That is the conversion of a plain text to ciphertext. So plain text is what me and you can see, read, and understand. Why the ciphertext is converting something into an unreadable format. So we use this key to do this. Now, cryptography is now the science, not just limited to encryption alone, but let me say the science of secrecy, of concealing an information. You know, encryption is you are locking something with a key. There are also so many other ways you can actually conceal an information without actually having it locked. So cryptography covers that. In cryptography, there is what we call steganography. Steganography is the art of having a data hidden inside another data without you knowing. So in cybersecurity, there is one practical we normally do. For example, we can have a particular file, let's say an image file, you snap a picture, we can actually embed into that picture a malicious software. So when you download the picture, or when I send you the picture, you are downloading it and you are seeing it as a normal picture. But inside that picture is actually embedded a malicious software. So that is steganography, and all of them fall under this cryptography. So encryption is just a part of cryptography per se, but we use encryption more because it's actually simple and straightforward. Because for you to learn how to use cryptography, you must learn how to actually be able to, you know, copy this file, have it embedded in another file without it, you know, imparting the appearance of that file. So outside the image file, even in audio files, video files, we can have malicious softwares embedded in them without you actually knowing. So that is what cryptography is all about. So together we say there are mathematical techniques for securing information through transformation into unreadable formats. And what is the essence of this encryption and cryptography is actually to provide confidentiality, integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. Yeah, confidential. When we talk about confidentiality, we are talking about making sure that an asset is only accessible to the authorized parties, right? So when we talk about integrity, we are talking about the trustworthiness of a data, making sure that this data has not been altered, or if it has been altered, we can verify and confirm it. That is what integrity is all about. Then authentication, of course, is the verification of an identity. Then non-repudiation is a type of security practice that ensures that an organization or an entity cannot actually deny the presence of their digital signature on a document. So to put it in a simpler way, let's say I go to take loan from a friend, right? Then afterward, when it is time for me to pay back, I will now deny taking that loan. So if there is no evidence to substantiate the claims of the person who gave me this money, the person might run the risk of losing out. So non-repudiation is that security practice that will make it impossible for me to deny having entered into agreement with that person. So we use digital signatures to provide this assurance. So it means that whatever you do with your system, whatever you do on your workstation, you cannot come back later to deny that action. And it is very imperative in cybersecurity because when it comes to forensic investigation of crime, you know, a lot of persons want to hold back or, you know, deny having entered some or maybe having done something. But with non-repudiation, it will become almost impossible for you to deny having practiced this thing because everything is logged and recorded in system. So that is what non-repudiation is. And encryption and cryptography helps us to provide this service. So what again, we have the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation. This we'll talk about later on. Okay. Well, I will just throw a little light on it. If you look at my slide, just look at the down part. I just want to talk on this regulatory requirements and compliance framework, the GDPR and the PCI DSS. For NDPR, is talking about Nigerian Data Protection Regulation. Of course, that is the data sovereignty, what defines that data is subject to national law, which means for Facebook to have their server reside in Nigeria, it simply means that whatever that is stored in their database is subject to Nigerian law. So this GDPR, of course, is a European Union legal framework that governs how the citizens of European Union's data is to be handled. So not just limited to citizens of European Union, but to every individual who reside in European Union and every European citizen that live outside of Europe. This law is applicable to the handling of their data. Then we also have the PCI DSS, which is the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. So this is actually the standard that defines how financial institutions collect and manage individuals' data, especially those ones on their card. So what this means is that if I am using GTB Bank, for example, and I use my ATM to go to Fidelity Bank to make withdrawal, this PCI DSS is the standard that states how the amount of data that the opposite bank is to take from my card and how long they are to hold on to that data and how they are to manage it. Do we get the point? Hello? Are we there?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we're here. Yes.
All right. So we have two types of encryption. We have the symmetric and we have the asymmetric encryption. The common difference between two of them is that one uses one key for both encryption and decryption, while the other one uses a pair of keys, one for encrypting and one for decrypting. So the symmetric is very simple and straightforward and is most efficient for securing data that is at rest, and especially for big data because of its efficiency is very fast. The only challenge with symmetric encryption is the key handling. When we talk about the key handling, we talk about that PIN, that password. You know that if your password is leaked, right, is as well as you not securing that document that you have protected using that password. So that is where the major challenge comes in, right? So, and the very common standard or algorithm used for this symmetric encryption is the advanced encryption standard, the 256-bit of it. So if we go to, after this class, just go to your Word document, just any of your Word documents. When you click on it, go to info, you will see the option to lock it. While you are locking it, you will notice the type of encryption that is being used is this symmetric, using this 256-bit AES standard. So that is the current secure standard for symmetric encryption. Now, asymmetric encryption actually makes use of two keys, one for encrypting and the other one for decrypting. Now, how can these two work? And in what cases do we use this asymmetric over symmetric? So this is how it works. Let's say we are communicating over an unsecure network or over a public network, or maybe I suspect that there are a lot of attackers. Maybe there are persons who are actually intercepting our packets, right? Now, I choose not to send you a particular document in plain text. I choose to encrypt it using this symmetric encryption, which is very simple and straightforward. So let's say I encrypt a document and send to you, right? So in order for you to have access to that document I forwarded to you, I must send you the key that you will need. That is the password you will need to decrypt it, right? Now, remember that the very reason why I had to encrypt this packet before sending to you is because I suspect that there is a man in the middle type of attack that is actually intercepting our packet. So what will now help me to send that key to you without it being compromised? Am I going to encrypt it again? If I encrypt the key and send to you, I will still need to send you the key. You will need to decrypt it. So that is where asymmetric encryption comes to play. So if I encrypt a large document and send to you, if I now want to send to you the corresponding key for you to decrypt that document, I will now make use of asymmetric encryption. So this is how asymmetric encryption works. So let's say Mr. Joe and Alice are communicating using asymmetric encryption. So for Mr. Joe to send something to Miss Alice, this is what Mr. Joe will do. Mr. Joe will use Miss Alice's public key to encrypt the document and send. Now, this is how it works. For every asymmetric encryption, every public key has a corresponding private key. And it is only that corresponding private key that can decrypt whatever thing that is encrypted with that public key. So if I am communicating with you, for example, we are using this asymmetric encryption. If you want to send a message to me, you are to encrypt that message using my own public key. Now, public key, that's why we call it public key, is actually a key you can share to any party that you wish to receive message from. But your private key remains with you. You are not to share it with anybody. So if I want to send you message using asymmetric encryption, I am to use your public key to encrypt that document. In fact, the moment I use your public key to encrypt that document, I can no longer have access to it because it is only your private key that can decrypt it. Now, sometimes I don't know whether some of us have noticed this. Sometimes you receive a message from bank and they will ask you to, for you to have access to this message, make sure to log in or to decrypt this message using your actual date of birth. Or they will just use something that they will consider to be confidential, that will not be publicly known by everyday person, right? And they will insist that unless you make use of that information they have provided, that is only when you can have access to that document. They are actually making use of asymmetric encryption. So they have already assigned that date of birth to be the private key that will decrypt that document they are sending to you. So they are trying to protect against packet sniffing, or maybe somebody trying to capture packet and read into it while it is in transit. So that is how asymmetric encryption works, as simple as that. But it has a lot of use cases outside the fact that we use it to exchange private key. Asymmetric encryption is also used in signing digital signatures. What is a digital signature? Sometimes you see persons that when they go to embassy, they will tell them that, okay, this person got admission, but during review, we found out that his certificate was forged. What helped them? That is this asymmetric encryption. Now, for every certificate that is being issued, right, embedded in that certificate is a private key. Now, for example, let me use WAEC as an example. Every certificate WAEC gives out has a private key embedded in it, converted in form of hashing. So when you go to an institution that wants to verify the authenticity of that certificate you are providing, what they will do, they will match that your certificate against the public key of WAEC that is already in their system. So if it fails to correspond, that means that certificate is fake. So that is where we now see that if you look at our previous slide, just as I have moved back, you see that encryption also provides this authentication. So you now see that by means of digital signature, we are using encryption to provide authentication to actually verify the identity of every certificate. So that is asymmetric encryption for us. So it has a lot of use cases. But for our simple encryption of our packets that are at rest, maybe trying to encrypt your documents, your file, anything, we make use of symmetric encryption. But when it comes to, we are trying to establish secure communication over a public network, we recommend asymmetric encryption. So we want to talk about the key management, which is also a critical factor when it comes to encryption. Because just imagine you using the best of the padlock to lock your door, only for you to leave the key to the padlock on the doorstep. Is it not as well as you not locking the door? So that is where key management comes in. So irrespective of how robust a particular encryption algorithm can seem to be, if we don't manage the key well, it will also be as well as us not having that document encrypted per se. Are we together?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. We are
All
together,
right.
sir. We are together.
So that is key management for us. So it is critical consideration for secure generation, storage, rotation, and revocation of cryptographic key. So when we talk about secure generation, that is how do we generate these keys? What are the algorithms? Which applications are we using? So you see the last slide on this secure generation. Look at that last line there. It talks about generate keys with appropriate length for security level. And it mentions advanced encryption standard, that is the AES 256 and the ROSA 2048 minimum. So these are encryption algorithms. So when we are making use of it, we are encouraged to use the latest standard of them so that we can be sure that the keys we are generating are secure and it has not been compromised, right? So we also want to talk about the secure storage. So how do we handle these keys, right? Where do we have them stored? We know that it's good to always use random password and always use password managers. But how about if our password manager is compromised? Can we imagine the devastating effect it can have? Because almost all your login is stored there. So if we don't take time to always make sure to use reputable password managers, we can run the risk of having it compromised. And at the long run, all our private credentials will be compromised. Then we also have the key. Go ahead.
Sorry, which one would you recommend? Which one have you found effective that you can recommend with regards to password managers? Yes,
there are a lot of them, but let me not lie to you. For me, I don't use it. I don't use password managers, yes, but it's good in the sense that it helps in generating secure keys. But I have a lot of secure password I always rotate, so I don't make use of password managers. But it's not like password manager is bad per se, but just look at the slide and what we are talking about, key management, right? Every password manager also has a passkey. So it all lies on how you are able to manage these keys. We have what we call brute force attack. That is the type of attack that centers on cracking passwords.
Yes.
Yes. Now, you will notice that if you are creating a password, most platforms will recommend at least a minimum of 8 characters.
Sure.
So including uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and so on and so forth. So what it simply means, if we are using at least a robust John the Ripper type of software, that is the software we use for this brute force attack, attempting of multiple passwords. It has been proven that if you use 8-character password, it will take John the Ripper at least nothing less than 30-something to 60-something days of continuous try and fail error to crack that password. Now, most of these systems we make use of, the moment you attempt 2-3-third login, they will block that account, right?
Yes.
So imagine the number of time it will take for John the Ripper to attempt and crack an 8-character password. So unless that system is completely down, that is when, like, they will not know that this password has been attempted for a period of 60 days. That is 2 months consecutively.
your machine will not be down. It will continue to test run it. Now, if you now use 16 character password, mixing it, that is double of 8 character, it will take John the Ripper over 2 million years to crack it. So the weakest point in security still lies on humans. So if you are able to manage your key well, there is every possibility of you using a key that can never be cracked, unless somehow an attacker used social engineering on you to get that password directly from you. But if that password...
Can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't quite get what you said. Are you saying that any password that is from 8 digits and above cannot be cracked, or it's very strong? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
That 8 digits and above are very strong.
It will be difficult than having less.
Yes, you add special character. So 8 and above, I don't mean letters and numbers only. If you use letters and numbers, it can be easily cracked. Special characters, you know what, star, hash, at, percentage, mix it. And that's why if you... Yes. So if you use password managers, when you look at that, is the type of password they generate for you.
Okay, okay, I got it.
Yes. Yeah. So another practice when it comes to key management is also key rotation. So key rotation is the encouragement of us making our time to always review and change our password. I know most of us are victims to this, even me. It's always difficult for us to keep to this, but we encourage for that. Why? Because sometimes many platforms we sign up using that our secure password, right? And now look at the funny thing. Most of those platforms we sign up using our password, they even make use of third-party vendors to manage those our password. And most of these platforms, the location and their data policy might not be applicable to our own jurisdiction. So their own locality might actually give them that flexibility of making, maybe giving them more control over your data. So just imagine a password you have been using for years. You can't accurately tell how many places you have signed up a username using that password. So attackers cannot always leverage this. If somebody have access to your email address and maybe one of your old password, the person can continue using both of them on different platforms. And who knows, if you are the type that keeps using one particular password for a long period of time, the person can actually log into one of your user accounts. So that is it. We also have the key revocation. So this talks about the agencies who make sure that platforms or organizations that handle individual data are complying to standard or are meeting to the standard they actually set. So they use this key revocation to actually make sure that the keys are up to date and they have not been compromised. And if it is in a working setting, let's say you are working for an organization, they also use the key revocation in the sense that, let's say, this person has been promoted or this person has been demoted or this person has been fired. So they use all these key revocation to make sure that everything is into place and they don't give an individual unneeded privilege. So we have the hashing, digital signatures, and certificates. I've already talked about this digital signature, but I will just throw more light on this hashing and how it works. So hashing is actually what helps to convert a data to a fixed output. So what I mean is we have a tool we call the hash calculator. So with that hash calculator, you can actually calculate, or let's say to verify the integrity of a data. We actually use it to verify the integrity of a data. For example, now I want to send a document to you, and I want you to check the document and send back to me. So if I use, for example, a hash calculator, it will calculate the hash value of that document, right? So when I send it to you,
and you forward it back, I will use that hash calculator to check again if that data has been tampered or not. Or let's say I want to send you a document and I want you to be sure that that document has not been altered. I can equally send you the hash ID so that when you receive it, you can match that same document against your own hash calculator to see what it will generate. So let's just do something for maybe let's just touch on this practical and see what we can get. We'll now round up. So just open a web browser, type hash calculator. Let me see, I have one installed on my system already, but let's use a web-based type of hash calculator. Let's see. Type hash calculator. Okay, hash calculator for integrity checker. You see something that looks like that? So
hash
under it,
please, sir, hash calculator what?
Yeah. Just type hash calculator for integrity checker. Just enter it on your Google. You will see a lot of options.
Okay.
If you see it, you see the option that writes XRI hash generator.
Okay, we are there, sir. I'm there. Sorry. Hash calculator.
You are there, B?
Integrated checkers. Okay, SRI hash generator.
Yes. Let's see. Let me see if it will generate hello world hash. Okay, it's requesting for URL. Check. Oh, hash generator. I'm coming.
I'm sorry, I have to step out now.
Okay. Okay, this is not giving. I'm coming. Has anyone seen? Or maybe I will just display the one from my system. Let me see if I can share the screen to show us what it looks like. Yo, I'm coming. Let me see if I can open the one directly from my system. Hope you all can still hear me, Abi.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right. I'm trying to open the application on my system. Let me see. Let's see if I can share this.
I'm coming up. Yeah. We all can see my screen now, right? Yeah, we can see it, right?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see on your screen.
So this is a hash calculator software. This is what it looks like. So with this hash calculator now, I can check for the hash value of any document at all I can think of. If you are seeing my cursor, you see is under this file. So if I click under this file, I can choose to check for the integrity of a text file, or maybe to upload a file from my system. If I click on this file, you see me, I will go here. I can pick any documents at all, right? Let's say this PDF, for example, I select it. I'll come, then I want to calculate. So these are different algorithms. This MD5, message digest 5, 4, then this SHA-1 is secure hash algorithm. All of them are different algorithms used. So let's say I select MD5, is already selected, SHA-1, SHA-256, then I will hit calculate. It will generate a hash value. Now you see this ID it generates. Let's say I'm working with this MD5. If I go to edit this file, even if I add the slightest thing like dots and come back here, you'll see this value will change. Now to confirm that, let us try that of a text format, what all of us can see with our eyes. So I've changed it to a text string. Let's say I come here and I type Amade Jasper, right? Let's say I put, here is Amade Jasper. So I will calculate, you see what it will give me. Take notes. This MD5 now started with A4EE, right? It ends with 282B. Take notes. Now, if I go back to this text now and change this Amade, this first letter to capital letter, notice what will happen. Did you see? Are we there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see that it changed, right? That is how hash calculator works. So the slightest of any change it will indicate. So why is this thing necessary? Earlier I talked about steganography, how we can actually embed a different data inside a different file formats. Let's say I can embed a malicious payload or link inside an image file, and when I send it to you, you will see it as a normal picture, right? But if you download it, you're actually downloading a virus. Now, let's say that you have a copy of that image before, right? You can actually use this integrity checker to verify if that picture has been, if it has been altered or not. So even if you have your own hash calculator, if you go there and type in this Amade Jasper, just as it is spelled here, this is exactly what you are to get. Do you get? So I am getting this not because I am using, even if we go online to use any hash calculator under MD5 as the algorithm, and we type this Amade space Jasper and spell it exactly like this, this is what we are going to get. So on our own, we can try see if we can download it. It's a light software, it's not heavy. Just type hash calculator. I think the name of this one is Slavasoft. It's been a while, but I think they are still in use. Or if I check, I can send it to you people. Now, sometimes if we log into a website, let's say, let me show you something different. Sorry, I'm coming. Let me share my screen.
Can we see my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear
Yes,
you,
we
sir.
can. Yes,
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 I
we
can
can.
see a screen.
Yes, sir.
Like you are seeing the website I'm browsing.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Let me check for this download. Good. Okay. No. Come. Recommended. Yes. You are seeing where I am, right?
Yes.
This, you can read this Kali Linux 2025.3 change log.
Log, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So for example, now, if I want to download this ISO image, right? Now I am going from Kali, their main website. Now I want to make sure that I am downloading the right software. I will come here. You see under this sum where my cursor is. If I click it, look at what it's showing me. SHA-256 sum. So after downloading it, I will now go to that my hash calculator, that my application. I will now upload this downloaded file. Now, what I am looking at is to check if the SHA-256 algorithm matches with this hash ID that I am seeing here. Do we get the point? So we can now use it to verify the authenticity of what I have downloaded. Because attackers can actually spoof addresses. Like you, on the point of you trying to download a particular software, they will redirect you to their malicious domain and have you download that one with a malicious payload. So even after you have done that, you can always go back to verify the integrity of that file to see if it matches with what you see on the official website that you downloaded that stuff from. That is exactly what he's doing. So this now is serving more like a digital signature to this file if I am to download it. So let's go back to our slide. Any questions so far? Don't worry, we'll soon round up. Sorry, I've taken more.
I didn't quite get because I noticed that you downloaded the software. You were trying to check the authenticity of the document, but I didn't quite get it. Did you checking the authenticity of the document, did you have to upload the document? You know, I didn't quite get how you came about.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem, I get you. See what I am explaining here, I said about hashing. I said the hash ID is actually what represents a document in the sense that, let's say, you want to verify the authenticity of a document. Maybe you want to download something and you want to make sure that what you're actually downloading is the authentic file. Okay. Now, if you have the hash calculator already installed on your system, that is the application you will be using to make these verifications. So what I now showed you people is that supposing I software, look at that Kali.org on that official website.
Okay, it seems our facilitator is having a challenge, but he's joining right back. So we'll be rounding off in a moment. I trust everyone is having a nice time with the class, and I'm also sure you are getting to understand what cybersecurity is all about, and you are also building your interest towards becoming fully cyber, not just cyber aware, but also cyber certified. All right, you're welcome back, Mr. Amadi.
Thank you. So we already run behind schedule. I would like to thank us all for keeping up. Then for the last explanation I was giving to, I think one of us asked the question about how, where I'm using this hash calculator and integrity checker, right? Did that my explanation, did you get it before the network interruption?
Explanation, yes, and I think I got, yes, so part of what you explained earlier. But I think you were talking about if you already have the software on your phone, right, and you want to check the authenticity of the software. Yes, so I think that was where you were before.
Yes, yes. So you do that using the hash ID that the vendor have provided. So if it is not publicly accessible on the website, you can just browse and check, maybe using your AI or Google to ask questions about the hash ID of this particular software. So if you now have it, you can now use it to verify the result that the one you have on your system will give you. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. All right. So thank us all. Sorry I took longer than the time I'm supposed to take, but that is just a glimpse of what cybersecurity looks like. And you can only imagine what the class would have been without us seeing how these things play out. So in cybersecurity, we don't believe in just only theory. We believe in teaching you and also exposing you to these practicals in real time. So you get to understand and learn better how to use these tools we have been mentioning. So once again, thank you for your time. We hope to see again, possibly to complete the remaining slide subsequent time. So thank you. So to admin.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jasper. All right, please, if you would like Mr. Jasper to come back tomorrow, I want to see if I get up to 20 yes in the chat room, then we'll bring him back tomorrow morning. If not, we'll presume that you didn't learn from his session. So if you want Mr. Jasper to come back tomorrow, let's go. I have 4. Let's go on 5. So if you want him to come back tomorrow, let's get the yeses. So Mr. Jasper, I hope you're counting. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have 13. 7 is shorting. If you want Mr. Jasper to come back tomorrow, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, Obi is typing twice. Hi, Obi is giving us DOS in this. Okay, she had never added the third one. This is DDoS. Okay, please can we even Mr. Bissam has altered the integrity of this data. Mr. Bissam has altered the integrity of this data. All right, please can we sincerely appreciate Mr. Jasper? It's been a lovely time with him, and you could see from how he has been teaching, how passionate, how intentional he is with ensuring that everyone gets to at least have basic cybersecurity skills. One of the things he did that shocked me, I've never used that before, that you could use a command shell to even perform cybersecurity operations. I've never tried that before. Okay, and today I've added to my knowledge that I can now use Windows command to to perform basic cybersecurity operations, and that's very, very great and intelligent. So one more time, Mr. Jasper, we sincerely appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you taking the time, not being in a hurry, and running us through all of these things. Thank you so much. Please, can we one more time appreciate him for this great gesture? And we are going to have an oral vote of thanks. Oral vote of thanks to Mr. Jasper. So please, we need one person to indicate, volunteer to do oral vote of thanks. So Ruth Obi, are you indicating?
I was actually waving my hands. I was celebrating him per se.
Okay, you are celebrating him. Okay, so I have Matthew and Blessing. Matthew and Blessing, are you indicating for a vote of thanks, or you are celebrating too? Okay, so can we have a volunteer to give him a vote of thanks? Then we will be done for today. Yes, we have received all the clap. We need one person to. Okay, Frank Jr. You want to ask him a question?
No, Ray.
Okay, you want to give a vote of? You want to thank him? You want to give a vote of thanks?
Well, it has been a great time, and then we've learned a lot. So, on behalf of the class, I'm saying a very good thank you for his time and how he has taken out time to explain all we have to know. It's been great learning from him. So, thank you, Mr. J.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Frank.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all. Thank you.
All right. So tomorrow morning, or tomorrow, we'll have Mr. Frank. Mr. Jasper has another topic to treat tomorrow: security operations and risk management. Security operations, essentially. So please, let's endeavor to be around tomorrow, and then learn all the much you can learn. IPM has done its great work, or done her great work, to ensure that we bring the best of the professionals to facilitate these sessions. Remember that this course is 100% free for you to attend, and we are not reserving anything. We are not keeping anything from you. We are teaching you in the best of what you should know about cybersecurity. So tomorrow we'll continue in this light. But before we go, I'm seeing Mr. Bisam's hand up. Is it a question? Is it a vote of thanks? Mr. Bisam?
Yeah, can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Yeah, it's a suggestion. I don't know if we can link up with some people like this so that at least they will mentor us from time to time. So I don't know whether today or after tomorrow. There's a way we can link up with him, at least it will help.
Okay. Yes. So the easiest route to get quick mentorship is to proceed to the next level. So you keep learning and you keep getting the mentorship as we progress. Okay. All right. So quickly, why this course is free? Okay. I will also want to appreciate. I also want us to appreciate why the class was going on. Mr. Adeyemi Caleb, he stepped in and he did a whole lot of support to make sure that we are not lagging behind. Mr. Adeyemi Caleb is our ex-official IPM alumni secretary. So we are so gracious to have him around today. So Mr. Adeyemi, you're highly welcome. I don't know if you have a word or two to say before we round off today. Okay, Mr. Adeyemi Caleb, are you there? Okay,
I'm
so
not sure. It's like he stepped out. Yeah, he said it that
okay.
time.
Okay.
It's still there. Let him unmute.
Okay. I think I heard when he said he was going to step out in a moment. Okay, so that being said, thank you to everyone. Tomorrow's sections are going to be loaded. We have 3 sections we will like to cover tomorrow. We'll have Dr. Emmanuel Okoye that will be taking us on vulnerabilities and exploitation strategies tomorrow. So please make sure that he's going to start the class with us tomorrow. And then we continue with Mr. Jasper afterwards. And then finally, we'll be looking at data security and privacy. That will be the final class we'll be having. So please, let's remain focused, remain steadfast in this learning. Now, while this course is 100% free to attend, please, let's be reminded of the following. Okay. Okay, let's be reminded of the following. The certificates, there are two options to certificates in this program. The first is the certified cybersecurity foundation certified. I don't know why that keeps changing. They'll have the executive cybersecurity certified. So for those of us that are going for the cybersecurity foundation certified, it is open to everyone in this class, irrespective of your level, irrespective of if you don't have any cybersecurity certification at the moment. This is the best place to start, and this is the best level to start with. Then the executive is only available to the executive level certification is only available to executive. That means you must have minimum of 10 years working experience, or you have 3 years management experience. That means you're currently a management staff, either a director, assistant director, an ED, an MD, a PAMSEC. You are a head of department. Okay, so if you are currently in management role with at least 3 years of experience in that role, you are also welcome to join. Now, if you are going for the CFC, Cybersecurity Foundation Certified, the actual cost of this program would have been $275,000. So for the fact that we're offering this at the moment as a free program, for those who are interested in certificates, the members, IPM members can get it for $50,000 or $50. Non-members can get it for $65,000 or $65. And that is exclusive of the study materials. And please note, the certification is not a certificate of completion, is not a certificate of attendance, is not a certificate of participation. It is a professional certificate. It is a foundational professional certificate in cyber security. You can screenshot this for payment, and please, after your payment, you can upload your payment details in the WhatsApp platform for easy tracking. Now, if you're going for the ECC, there will be additional you have additional 3 sections. Like I said in the morning, ECC is majorly focusing on cyber governance and strategy, cyber compliance, regulatory issues, cyber leadership, incident response, business continuity, disaster management, risk management, strategy planning. So if you are interested in advancing to ECC, then you can you'll be rest assured that you have 3 extra sections, okay, which can be a 1-day course, additional 1 day with IIPM before you move. Now, if you're going for the ECC, now the actual cost of the program is 750,000 naira, not 750 naira, 750,000 naira. So if you are going for that, members will be paying, IPM members will be paying 275. Non-members will be paying 300,000. And in this case, your course material will be inclusive, and then your CFC will also be inclusive. So if you're going for the ECC, you have 2 certificates that you'll be having. All right, so you have CFC and you have ECC alongside with the materials. The payment can also be sent to the same payment information. Now, after this level, we have 2 other levels for interested persons, which we encourage you. We have the associate level, currently discounted till November 30th. So anybody that is interested in going for the advanced classes, we have we have discounts running till November 30th. So if you're coming this period, that's between now and November 30th, members will be paying $250, non-members will be paying $275. Then for the cybersecurity professional, if you also want to pay in advance, like you want to secure your spot in advance for the CCP, then the fee for members is $325, non-members is $350, and that's for the discounted courses. Now, note, each of the courses is for 3 months. So you're going to have all the time, not just with Mr. Amadi, Dr. Okoy, or myself. You're going to have access to other faculty members, and you're going to have different perspectives to cybersecurity. And also, you have there will be opportunities for visitations of security operations centers. The major ones we have so far in Nigeria, okay, from the military to NIS to NCS, okay, Customs Service, okay, Nigerian Customs Service, not Correctional Service, Immigration Service, yeah. So we have access to visiting their SOC, their cyber labs, and that will also provide us with more understanding of what cybersecurity is all about and how they operate. Okay. Now, that being said, in case you want to become a member of IPM, you are also welcome to join us as a member of IIPM. If you want to become a member of IIPM, the information about IPM membership is on the screen. So we'll also share these things in the chat room. So we have 3 levels of membership in IPM. You have the associate member, you have the full member. So I have associate member, full member, and fellow. So associate is mostly for early career professionals between 0 to 4 years, and that is actually, that provision is made just for this particular diet. Management enthusiasts and career changers, recent graduates, aspiring to build capacity for management solution positions, and then we have professionals building their credentials. They'll have full members for those within 6 to 14 years, that's mid-career professionals, team leads, supervisors, specialists seeking for management roles, and professionals ready to scale for impact. And they'll have fellows. Fellow is for senior professionals with minimum 15 years of work experience. If you're going for the associate, the cost is $150,000. And if you're going to be paying on or before November 30th, it's $145,000 for membership, and you have those benefits accruing to you. And then you have full member $200,000, and the early bed is $190,000. For fellow, there is no early bed, there is no late bed. So the investment for fellow is just $300,000. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time. If there are questions, comment, contributions, we'll quickly take them now, and then we'll call it a time. Any question, any comment, any contribution? And then if you have any concern, if you have, okay, so somebody's asking for Ghana cedis or the like. So if you are interested in paying from outside of Nigeria, please, you're encouraged to pay in dollars, not in your host country currency, right? So kindly pay in dollar, right? And then if you have the opportunity to pay in Naira, why not? Okay, so I'm saying please check the dollar rate. Okay, so okay, so we are not. It's not a dollar rate calculation. Okay, so that's just the benchmark for the investments on this course. Okay. Do I have any question, comment, contributions before? If you have any concern on the attendance link, please just chat us up. Just drop your comment in the group, and then we'll follow up from there. We'll send you the link privately to your email, privately to your WhatsApp number. Okay. All right. Any question, any comment, any contribution? So tomorrow we'll return again by 10 a.m. We'll start with Dr. Okoy. And then Dr. Okoy is going to be joining us from the Nigerian Defense College. He will be here tomorrow to share with us on cyber attacks, vulnerabilities and exploitation. And then we'll have another person that will be dealing with data security, and then Mr. Jasper that will be rounding off with security operations and risk management. Thank you, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless you, and do enjoy a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.